Hey up, Rock God 2004 back with another video for you. And this is just another few films that I have watched this past week or two. I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The 10th one I can't find the disc. I think Laura must have put it away somewhere. Anyway, so the first thing I watched, finally, was out with this little set, the Paul Naschy Collection 2. And I watched The Werewolf and the Yeti, which is the final video nasty section one that I needed. Strangely enough, it was the last one on the list as well. This was far better than I expected. I thought it was going to be absolute and utter garbage because with it being like quite low budget. Now the transformation scene into a werewolf is kind of like the black and white Universal Lon Chaney Jr. one, but a bit better. But it's similar, like fading in with a bit more fair and all that type of stuff. But I swear to God, this film reminded me of a Hammer film. It was like a low budget, not greatly acted Spanish version of a Hammer film, and I really, really enjoyed it. If you get the chance to get to see that film, The Werewolf and the Yeti, whether it means you're buying this set, which is region A locked, there's a German media book you can get, which I think is expensive, or whether you can see it on YouTube in its entirety. And if you like Hammer films, I do recommend it. It's the first Paul Naschy film I've ever watched. It is the only one I ever needed or wanted. However, after enjoying that so much, I'm actually really looking forward to watching the others as well, and I would like the first collection to go with it. So, yes, I really enjoyed that. I would give that, 6.5 out of 10, and that's a video nasty. I will say I don't know why it was on the list because there's nothing offensive in it at all. Don't get it. It shouldn't have been a video nasty. But I'm glad it was because it's now made me see it. So that's The Werewolf and the Yeti. The next one I watched was one of the ones that my very good friend Gary, the Blu-ray Addict, sent me. And it was Crawl. I wasn't a fan. Did nothing for me. If you want to see a decent crocodile / gator film, stick with alligator. For me. It's CGI, but it's pretty decent CGI. Don't get me wrong. These things are huge. There's more than one of them. I just didn't like the setting. It starts off where there is this torrential storm on its way. And there's a lass in it. She's driving and she's on the phone to her sister. And it sounds like the kind of they're kind of close, but they're kind of distant. And it sounds like the dad is closer to the sister, who you don't see, like who's on the phone. And she says to her, where are you? And she says, where she is? She went, oh, have you heard from Dad? She went, well, no. I'm like, so what's new? She said, well, I've been trying to get hold of him and I can't reach him. Can you go and check on him? She was like, no, she didn't, sorry. He said to me, well, I can go and check. I'm only about 1 hour away. She went, no, don't drive in this. And she goes, no, it's all right, I'll go. She tries to ring him, nothing. So she drives out to the house. She gets stopped by the police blocking it and saying, right, can't let you through. The rain's too bad and the wind, and it's going to get worse. It's like a proper hurricane. So she goes, all right then, well, if you hear anything, let me know, because like nobody's there from my dad. And she just basically like tricks him, She does a turn around and she's off down the road. And that's where it starts when she gets to the house. The rain is absolutely bouncing and it's starting to flood. But what I really didn't like about it is the rest of the film then is set in that one house. And what I didn't like even more was the fact that, I don't know if you can see on the photo, you kind of can. It's one of them where they've drained the colour out of it. It's happening too much now in these modern films where they think it looks cool and hip to sort of like not make the film black and white, but it's nigh on. Kind of like Sleepy Hollow, but it looked good on Sleepy Hollow because that was like more like a gothic old feel to it, so it worked. This is a modern day film. Where the hell was the colour? And it's pissing me off now because there's too many films doing it. You think when people start and do it, oh, that looks good, it looks really creepy. Yeah, but it's getting done too much now. Everybody's doing it, and I've seen enough. I want to see a film in colour. But the story just wasn't great. I've heard mixed reviews about it, but yeah, I mean, it wasn't terrible. Don't get me wrong, it wasn't terrible, but the hair's getting on my nerves. It did nothing for me. I would probably give it a 3.5 to 4 out of 10. It's a bit nah. So that's Kroll. And the one that I can't find that I watched was the double disc of Wednesday, season 1. I've seen it once before on Netflix, and as soon as I seen it, I was like, I want that to come out. And when it come out, I was like, oh, and it was like 30 quid. So I got it for 20 when it came down with the slip. I just don't know where the hell she's put it. Oh my God. When it finished, I just wanted to put it on again. I absolutely love it. I'm excited for season 2, but I'm not expecting much. I don't think it can be as good as that one. It's fantastic. Jenna Ortega is fucking amazing as Wednesday. And the lass who plays her roommate, she is fantastic as well. They just go so well together. But it's like a bit of you're guessing who all the way through. It's like a bit like a whodunit, you know. Well, it's them. Well, it's not. Well, it's them. Well, it's not. It's nothing like I expected. It's far better. And the strange thing is, what I found as well, I've never known this on an official disc. When you put the disc in, the menu comes up and you press play, and that's it. There's no warning. There's no like, the copyright proprietors have licensed this, blah, but none of that. No warning. You just put the disc in, it closes, and the menu goes bang. You press play, and it starts. There's no Netflix logo, nothing. No extra features, just a menu. And on that menu, you get play, chapters, play all, episodes, and that's it, really. It's just like a bare bones thing, which is fantastic. But I've never, ever put an official disc in where you don't get the warning that I remember. Weird. But it's like, I rattled this off within a day and a half, 2 days. And when I find it, or if she knows where it is, I am going to watch it again because I absolutely loved it. So that was season 1 of Wednesday. Then I watched this. Wow, what a film. The Little Girl Who Lives Down the Lane. This is Jodie Foster and Martin Sheen. This is creepy as hell, and it is so fantastically acted. Jodie Foster is amazing in it. Martin Sheen is absolutely fantastic. You hate him. You hate him, and you're meant to. I'll try and tell you the basic premise without spoiling anything. Jodie Foster and her dad have moved into this house, and I think they've got a 3-year lease. And you see Jodie Foster going to the shops a few times, and then she tells, somebody asks how old she is, and she tells them 14. And then she tells somebody else 13. And then when the cop comes and sees her, goes, "How with them? Which is it?" And she goes, "I'm 13. So where's your dad?" He's away on business, he's working, he's in New York and all this type of stuff. Then somebody comes again and she's saying like, well, he's in bed or he's working. And Martin Sheen shows up. He's Yeah, he's proper. He's a creep, and he doesn't even try and hide the fact. The landlord, who they've got the lease off, is this woman. She owns the house, and she is the mother of the Martin Sheen character, and she's an absolute bitch. She comes round their house, and just because she's the owner, like, she just thinks she can walk in. She doesn't knock, walks in. She talks to Jodie Foster like a piece of shite, like she's her own kid, but like really strict, and she's now to do with her. Jodie Foster there, my God. I'm sure, if you watch it, I'm sure she's wearing a wig. I looked at it, I was like, that hair looks ridiculous. I've never noticed before. When I look, it's just something about the top. I'm sure she's wearing a wig. But this, it's a very powerful film. I highly, highly recommend this. It's not action-packed, but the story and the acting have you gripped from start to finish. It goes on for an hour and a half, I think it is. It felt like it was on about an hour to me. There's more to it than what I've just said. There's other characters in. There's more stuff going on. It's just amazing storytelling and amazing acting. I would give this quite easily a 9 out of 10. What a film. I'm going to watch this again soon as long as I enjoyed it that much. Seen it before, but it was years ago. And when I watched it this time, it was even better than I remembered. Absolutely fantastic film. That's The Little Girl Who Lives Down the Lane. Next up was another one that Gary, the Blu-ray Addict, sent very, very kindly sent to me as well. I will leave a link below to Gary's channel. This is a French film, but this is an American disc. And it's the unrated version of High Tension. I'd never seen this before. I'd heard of it. I know Second Sight's done a deluxe set of it. And I was like, I'm not buying a deluxe set of something I don't know about, and especially with it being like a foreign film. So I didn't get it. So Gary very kindly sent me this because I think he's upgraded to the Second Sight. I do believe it's a 4K as well. So this was a first time watch for me. And I was looking around there thinking it's going to be all in French and stuff, but no, it is an American disc, so it's all in English. It is French language with English subtitles, but do you know, the more I'm watching of them, I'm used to them now. And it's not that bad where if you keep reading, you're going to lose like what's going on in the pitch. It's not like that at all. Same with, was it The Last Matinee? That's a brilliant film. I love that. With this one, you just got a download code and just the Blu-ray there. Now these two girls, there's hair and hair. I think they've just finished like a university or something, and they're going away. They're going to her family, spend time with her family in the house and stuff. And she's like obviously her best mate, and she's like, yeah, I'm looking forward to this now. And when they get to the house, they have dinner and stuff, and they meet the family. And she says to her, like, thank you for inviting your family. I'm glad I came now. So then it comes to time for bed. They all get in bed and that, and I think she's laid awake. Oh yeah, she's doing something to herself. Filthy beast. And there's a knock at the door downstairs. So she gets up and she's looking over the banister, and her dad gets up and he answers the door, and there's this cretin at the door. He's horrible. And it starts then. Now, I was getting so far through this and I was thinking, this is not as good as what people are saying it is. And it was starting to get on my nerves a bit, mainly due to her. She was getting right on my tits. You know when you're watching somebody in a film and what they're not supposed to do, and it really winds you up, she does everything. It's like somebody's getting hurt. Instead of like running over and helping them, she's like, oh, oh, she could be looking over the banister and someone's going on and say, oh, And when you're walking through the house looking for something, it's like, take a step, have a 5-minute snooze, take a step. I thought, you're really getting on my nerves, bitch. So it got to about an hour and an hour and 10. Don't get me wrong, the gore is brutal. It's not terrifying gore, but it is brutal in parts. It got about an hour and 10 minutes, and I was like, yeah, I can't see me watching this again. It was all right, but my God, it was just ridiculous. Then the ending happened. I did not see that coming. And you know, like when I say about Smile and stuff like that, the ending ruins the film. The ending made this film. What an ending. So I will be watching it again, and I do enjoy it. That ending made it a really good film. 6.5 out of 10. I would recommend you watch this. Even if you only watch it the once just to say you've seen it. Don't let the subtitles put you off. They're not Fast and Furious in the ready money round. You can handle them. Give it a go. Wow, that ending. It's worth watching just for the end because I did not expect it. High tension. The next one that I watched, my very good friend John at Mondo, Chelloveck. I will leave a link below to John's channel. He gave me this when I seen him a couple of meetups ago. It's a video nasty. I think it's a section 2. And he said to me, have you got this? I was like, no, I went, right, I've got it for you. He said, it's only the DVD, but if you like it, you can upgrade to Blu-ray. And I went, I was going to get the Blu-ray. He went, this might do you. Well, what do you mean? Because it looks good. He went, no, it's not the greatest film. All right, so I finally watched it. Killer Nun. Oh dear. I've seen worse. Don't get me wrong, there is worse. It's not the worst video nasty. But God almighty, the acting's terrible and it's dubbed. But even so, I'd rather have it dubbed sometimes rather than have to keep reading to watch. But Jesus Christ almighty, this is not good. Don't get me wrong, it's not as bad as Cannibal Terror and it's not as bad as Frozen Scream. If you're collecting these video nasties and you have to Frozen Scream, please don't pay too much for it. There's an out of print DVD of it. God, it's shocking. But this is not great. It does have a good ending. And so far through, I think I guessed it. And for once I was right. If I see this going cheap on Blu-ray, because I know these Shameless have released it on Blu-ray with a really nice slipcover, and I would like it, but I'll only upgrade if I can see it cheap on the premise that it is not a great film. This Blu-ray, the picture quality is actually, for Blu-ray, is really good. But there's this sister, the main character. I think she's kind of getting a little bit, what's the word I'm looking for? I think she's starting to think that, like, you know, her faith isn't what it was. And there's a bit, because like when it's a slow film, it's weird, your mind wanders a bit. But from what I can gather, from what I remember, I thought she'd left the convent. Because the next thing you see her getting banged up against a wall. And I was like, oh, well, that's not very nunny of you, is it? And I was like, she's left, obviously, she's left. Laura watched it with me, she hated it. But then the next thing you see her back in the convent. But people are dying. People start getting murdered. And that's all I'm going to say, because I'd nearly give you a spoiler there, but I won't. But every time there's a murder, she's not far. That's all I'll say. It was all right. It could have been a lot better, mainly due to the acting and the actual overall pacing of it, I suppose. It wasn't awful. It was a bit on the shitty side, but it wasn't terrible. I've seen far, far worse. I'd probably give this a 4 out of 10. It's definitely worth getting if you are collecting the video nasties and you want to complete the section you're getting. So if you're getting section 2, get it. Don't be thinking, I'm not getting that because it's crap, because you'll miss out. It doesn't matter how bad they are, I want them. So, but it's watchable, but it is just know that it is a tad on the slow side, and the acting's a bit cack. But canny little twist at the end if you don't guess it, but I did. Killer Nun. Next one I watched, I don't know what it was, I just fancied watching it. This was my second watch of this. And this is a Vinegar Syndrome title. I love this film. The acting's so bad, but what a cracking story. And again, what a cracking ending. I was talking about this to Keith and Andy. I'll leave links below to their channels as well. And I said, wait till you read the title of this, and like they did laugh. This film is called Evil Laugh. And Keith even said to me, and is there an evil laugh in it? I went, well, yeah, there's supposed to be, but it's not that evil when you hear it. God, it is funny when you hear the laugh. But this has got some decent gore in. This was like early 80s. It might have been 1980. Actually, it might have been later, thinking about it. I thought it was 1980, but when I looked, I think it was about 86. Now, if you are familiar with Happy Days, as in the Fonz, you remember Fonzie's nephew, who was played by Scott Baio? He played, is it Chachi, they called him? You know what I mean. His brother's in this. And his brother either directed or produced it as well. And you know it's him because he looks like him. I haven't said that on that painting, he doesn't. But this is, there's a house up. I think it's for, I can't remember if it's for sale or for rent. And this guy goes in, he goes, you do know I want this house. And he's a chef. So he gets the house and his wife's on her way or something. He's a bit la-di-da. And he doesn't last long. He gets done in. And his wife's there. And she, well, he hasn't arrived yet and all this type of stuff. And then all these people come as well. It's all friends that they've arranged a gathering. And the chef's going to cook a meal for them. And the guy who was like sold him or leased him the house. He's like inside. Well, I've got to go. My wife's waiting outside, and she's beeping, beep, beep, beep. Are you ready? And oh God, shut up. And then he goes to the house again later, and she's in the car with him again. I think, why just leave her at home? She's right moaning, bitch. So these people arrive for this meal and stuff, and it's disgusting. He's a chef, but there's like hearts and it's awful. The thought of it. And people start getting bumped off. And we don't know why, and we don't know who it is. It's one of them. It is a slasher film, but it's kind of like you're guessing who done it as well. This has got a charm. I don't know what it is. There's just something about it. I bought this as a blind buy. I got it on eBay. And I didn't pay a lot for it. A hell of a lot cheaper than if I bought it from Vinegar Syndrome with the shipping. There's the Vinegar Syndrome thing at the bottom there. If you've not seen this and you like it, cheesy 80s slashers, you're going to like this. I'd give this 6.5 to a 7 out of 10. Mainly because of the acting, but I could watch it again now. I enjoyed it that much. I do really enjoy it. I'm not going to give it any higher because there's that many other films I've got that high. It doesn't come near Friday the 13th or anything like that. But Evil Laugh, give it a go if you get the chance. Really enjoyed that one. This one, I have seen it before, well, kind of a few years ago now, but I bought this for £4, I think it was, with a slip, and I'd not seen it since I'd watched it like a few years back. And it was even better than I remembered, actually. What a cracking film. I've heard mixed reviews about it, but I really enjoyed this. Unfriended. This is the one that kind of, I think it's like it's based around sort of like Facebook, but the entire film is, it's like as though you're looking on a computer screen from start to finish. And if you do get this, it starts off when the Universal logo comes up, it gets a glitch and sticks a little bit, and you go, oh God, no. It's meant to be. I thought I had a faulty disc because it does it again. You'll know when you see it. So don't worry, it's not a faulty disc. It's meant to be like that. A girl has killed herself in this school. She's committed suicide, and there's people keep blaming other people for it. And this group of friends, which is basically these, start getting messages. They have like a group chat, a video call chat, and then this thing appears, and they don't know who it is, and they've hacked into it. And they know an awful lot about them. And that's all I'm going to say. But what a cracking film. It's really tense in parts. It's really short as well. It's about an hour and a quarter, hour and 20 minutes, something like that. I would give this a 7 out of 10. Some genuinely tense scenes in it as well. And it flew by. I loved it. I thought it was such a good film. If you haven't seen it, I would highly recommend it. And there's a second one, which is, I think it's called Unfriended Dark Web or something. I need to hunt that down because apparently it's as good as this one. So if you haven't seen this one, yeah, get it watched. Unfriended. On Sunday, we were in Liverpool because Laura was going to a Comic-Con. And she met Ralph Fiennes, and who plays obviously Voldemort. And it's the first Comic-Con he's ever done. I'll show you the photo now. Jason somebody is the other actor. I can never remember his name. He plays Malfoy's father. And we drove all the way to Liverpool. Straight in, straight there, photo done, out. Didn't stay for anything else. And then we met Andy. And we went to a really nice Wetherspoons in Liverpool, actually. We had our dinner in there. And we had a walk around, and Jesus Christ, there's parts of Liverpool like that. My legs are still aching. I don't feel it. But Andy gave me a few titles very kindly. Brought me some Blu-rays and like some 4Ks as well. And one of the ones he brought me, I'd never ever seen them before. And he was kind enough to give me this because he's upgraded to 4K. Now, bear in mind, I'd never seen these. And the fact I'd watched Wednesday, I was like, yeah, I'd watch them. The Addams Family and Addams Family Values. It's a double disc. It's an American release. I do believe it is region free because it's on Paramount. Paramount discs aren't usually locked. I really enjoyed them. The first one, as I was watching it, I was like, it's a bit weird. And all the way through the film, there was something that happened, and it was to do with Uncle Fester. To me, that spoiled it a bit. It's like he wasn't part of the family till the end because other things were going on. And I was like, oh, that was a bit cack, like that scenario. But apart from that, I really enjoyed it, and I thought I was going to hate it. Then watch the second one. Me and Andy watched these together. We had a little watch along together and watched them. And then I watched the second one, and it was so much better. It just was. And the cast were back, except for the grandma. It was a different actress playing the grandma. I don't know who it was in the original, but in that one, it's Carol Kane, who's the babysitter in When a Stranger Calls. And I went, is that Carol Kane? And Andy was like, yeah. I was like, I can just tell by the face and her voice. But I was belly laughing at parts of this second one. Really enjoyed it. I'm probably the only one out of everybody who's watching this who's never seen this. But my God, it's two really entertaining films. Addams Family and Addams Family Values. I would give the first one a 6.5 out of 10, and I would give the second one 7.5 out of 10. So I am so glad I watched them because they're definitely rewatchable. And when I was watching these with Andy, I said, you know what? These now are making me want to watch Wednesday again. So I need to find the disc and watch that again as well. All 8 episodes. I was sad. But yes, Christina Ricci is tiny in this, especially that one. But then when this starts, you can see how much, whether it be a year or two, you can see how much she's grown. Because obviously she's only a kid in it, and like, kids grow fast. But the difference with her between that one and that one, I was like, wow, didn't expect that. I thought she was going to be like this little tot in both of them, and she's not. But the lad who plays Pugsley, he's fantastic as well. If you've not seen these, yeah, you've probably been living on a rock like I have, but you need to watch them. That's the Addams Family and Addams Family Values. Another thing I've watched as well this last week or two, I watched 2 films on streaming that have been on the cinema. I watched The Menu, talking of Ralph Fiennes. My God, did I enjoy that. What a breath of fresh air that was. Really good film. Kept my interest. Something different. And it had a good ending. None of this like stupid stuff that's happening so much. Ralph Fiennes has this restaurant, and it's like it's the greatest food on earth, really fine dining type of thing. And it's on a little island. You have to get a boat over to it, and it costs a fortune. But when they get there, something's not quite right. It's all I'm going to say. Well worth a watch. 7.5 out of 10 for that. That's The Menu. And the other one I watched was, what's it called? The Substance, with Dennis Quaid, Demi Moore, and Margaret Thingy, who's a fine-looking thing. She's in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and she's in something else as well. And as I was watching it, after about 10 minutes, I'm thinking, are you shitting me? After 2 hours, it had about 15, 20 minutes left, and I fell asleep. I absolutely hated it. What a pile of shit. It's awful. It's terrible. It's about as believable as an onion transforming into a killer whale. And this is what annoys me when people slag off Jaws the Revenge. You cannot slag off Jaws the Revenge and then go and watch that shit. Or any superheroes, flying in the air with red capes. Because people slag it off as the worst film ever, Jaws the Revenge, and they say, like, as if a shark could go through in the Bahamas. You need to shut your trap and watch what you watch before you start calling that. But this was just cack. this thing that I've never heard it being called, but it seems to be a new trendy thing, body horror. It was body horror. It was shit horror. Dennis Quaid. I'm not a Dennis Quaid fan anyway. And we got asked this question on the stream the other night, what's your favourite Dennis Quaid film? And I'm being genuinely serious. Mine is Jaws 3, and that's not a great film at all. I just haven't seen enough of him to judge. Anything else is just nobody I really go for. But in this, I hated him. Demi Moore's a bit of a dick for what she does. And this Margaret thingy is an even bigger dick for what she does. But just the way you think, Christ almighty, man. It was terrible. I can only give it a 1 or a 2 out of 10. I really disliked it. I don't care what happened in the last 15 minutes, put it that way. I said to Laura, what happened? She went, don't watch it. I went, why? She went, because she thought it was bad up until then. She went, at the end, I thought I was tripping. I was like, yeah, that'll do me. We're back to weird again. No. Entirely up to you. If you want to watch it, you go and watch it. If you enjoy it, lovely. But you're warped. That was the substance. I wouldn't care. When I saw the trailer at the cinema, I really fancied it. I really wished I hadn't. And the last one that I watched, I've just watched it before I started this video, actually. I got this a while back on the 88 Films label, and this is Testicles. What a pile of cack. This is hands down one of the worst Jaws rip-off films I've ever seen. With an octopus. Where do I start? I can't. The guy's name that comes up, it's like, video nasty something. And I know he had something to do with Piranha 2. This, right? This makes Piranha 2 look like a masterpiece. Not even Shelley Winters or Bo Diddley Squad or Henry Fonda can save this piece of shit. It is so dull and slow and boring and pointless. At least Cruel Jaws / Jaws 5, I don't know if they got away with that, but at least that was entertaining because it was so bad. It was funny, and it wasn't supposed to be. The actor who looked like Hulk Hogan, for God's sake, and the little girl in the wheelchair who acted as well as a fried egg, and some of the lines that they nicked out of all the Jaws films and the actual clips of the films that nicked as well, it was genuinely laughable and funny. It was entertaining, and the shark was chronic. But this, it had been on quarter of an hour, and I'm thinking, please hurry up and finish. And I had to pause it and stuff. When I come back in, I thought it must have been on about 50 minutes. It'd been on 20 minutes. 25, sorry. Never again. This is going on eBay. Two out of 10. If you're thinking of getting this, don't. Unless, like John, you're collecting the entire Italian collection. Don't know, 88 we're doing releasing this, but like, yeah. We got one over us on with this. I'm still going to call it by my alternate title because it's better and it fits exactly what it is, a load of old. That's Testicles. So that's pretty much most of what I've watched this last week or two. I'm gutted I can't find the Wednesday Blu-ray, but you know what it looks like. You've seen the cover. I did show it when I bought it a few months back. But what a series that is, Wednesday. I highly recommend that. And I'm not a Tim Burton fan at all. And I'm not a massive Addams Family thing. Hence why I just saw the two films, but I really enjoyed them, so I was glad about that. I used to love the black and white series when I was a kid. But since the 90s when they made this resurgence. I just wasn't interested in watching them, but I'm glad I have now. But Wednesday is definitely by far one of my favourite telly shows. It's amazing. But yeah, the substance and testicles were the low point of the week. At least Crawl was watchable. Jesus, man. I've watched some bilge lately. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I was hoping to watch The Wizard of Oz to fit there as well, but I haven't watched it yet. So next one when I do reviews. Thank you so much for watching, all two of you. I really do appreciate it. Thank you for subscribing. Means the absolute world to me. I honestly really do appreciate it, and I can't thank you all enough. I'll see you very soon on the next video, and until then, you all take care of yourselves. Ta-ta.